Hi everyone, it's Miss B the Kindy, or better known as Jordan. In this video, I'm really excited because I get to talk about preparing your child for kindergarten. It's about that time your child is going to their first year of elementary school and they are entering kindergarten. In my opinion, the best grade ever. Congratulations as a parent, your child is going to have an amazing year in kindergarten. And in this video, I'm going to offer 10 key takeaways for you as a parent or for you as a teacher to watch to prepare your child for kindergarten so that your child feels safe, welcome, and prepared for their school year ahead. I'm currently a kindergarten teacher. I've been teaching kindergarten for 5 years, but I have 8 years of experience. And in this video, I want to show you and talk to you about what I've learned as a teacher and how I know my students best, because sometimes in the classroom, we see things differently than how you see your child at home. I'm going to offer some tips about how you can prepare your child so that their year is amazing. Be sure to stay all the way through this video so you can take each point and really think about it. And if you have any additional comments or you want to offer your input, leave some comments down below in the comment section and I look forward to looking at them. Let's go ahead and get started. My first tip is going to be something that we typically don't think about, and it's something as a parent that you really have to think about when you put your child in kindergarten. If your child's been to preschool or daycare or another program where you are not with them and they know that drop-off process and for you not being there, or maybe your child is at home with a grandparent or a babysitter or a nanny, your child really needs to know how to be away from you. So this is tip number 1. Can your child be away from you and understand that you're going to come back and that they won't be with you for a certain amount of time? Sometimes in kindergarten, we have children coming from all different backgrounds and it's their first time being away from their parent. So having a conversation with your child beforehand, having them understand that you might not be there for a certain extent of time is really, really important that you prepare your child for before they enter a school building and are with a brand new adult and brand new children inside the classroom. This will take time, but just know that over time they will learn to be apart from you because they know that you will always come back. Something I like to do is read a story called The Kissing Hand, and we learn in that story that mommy raccoon kisses her baby's hand and puts it to her heart, and that's a story I read with my students. So whenever they're sad or they miss their parents, we refer to the kissing hand on the first week of school, and then they know that mommy or daddy or whoever's at home is in their heart and they touch their hand to their heart. And that's just a way that I ensure that my students feel comfortable coming inside the classroom, knowing they're apart from their parents. That's something that you could look at as a story at home. As adults, we have to problem solve. As your children, they have to problem solve too. Tip number 2 is, can your child problem solve? This is often a big skill coming into kindergarten. Children are surrounded by different students. They're learning how to play with them, how to mingle with them, how to learn inside the classroom. Problem solving skills are probably one of the most important things that I do with my students throughout the whole school year. Now, it's okay if your child struggles. That is something that lets them learn the process of problem solving. If you do everything for your child or you're not letting them speak for themselves, they are not learning to problem solve. And children are sponges. They learn this at a very young age. So let them struggle a little bit. It's okay. I know the tattletaling can go on for many times in kindergarten, but I often let my students go and I watch them with one another because it's very important that they learn how to problem solve in a situation. We role play a lot in kindergarten, so we'll have students act out certain things. We'll act out good choices versus not so good choices. At home, you're your child's first teacher. Make sure that you are letting them problem solve. A problem can be big or it can be small, but please let them have a voice and let them try to do stuff on their own from an early age. Tip number 3 goes with problem solving, and this is called emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is making sure that your child can express how they feel, ask for help, and understand the feelings of themselves and others. That's a big piece. And others. In kindergarten, we have big feelings sometimes. Some days we have good days, some days we have bad days. Hey, that's how life works, right? So in kindergarten, we're really trying to make sure that children understand their emotions and know that it's okay to not always be happy, but being able to express when they feel a certain type of way. At home, I would encourage your child to speak up or draw or write, or if there's something going on where they're feeling a certain way, you have a solution for that. So let's say your child is angry at something. We don't have to necessarily always yell or scream or react to how they're feeling. we can give them options for regulating their emotions. In kindergarten, we have a calm down corner where a child can go calm down. I often let my students draw or color or pick something that's relaxing to them inside the classroom when they're feeling a certain way. And something I love to do that's really helped my students is called sunshine and cloud. So we do a morning meeting every morning where students sit in a circle and we share with one another. The topic changes every day, but on Fridays, we share a sunshine and a cloud. So a sunshine is something that made you happy or excited this week, and a cloud is something that made you sad or upset. And the children are able to relate with one another, and when they share it, it really makes you think about how they're handling their feelings. And oftentimes, one student has something similar to the other, so that helps them relate to each other when they're expressing their emotions. So something to think about at home. As your child is growing up, they are going to go through many different phases. So just make sure that they're speaking about them, they're learning to express them, and you're being that role model for them. Tip number 4 is going to be a big one. It's that your child is not always going to get everything that they want. Cue the Rolling Stones. So in life, you can't always get what you want. You can work towards what you want, but inside a school and inside a classroom, you're going to lose games and you're not always going to get everything that you want. Now, let's talk about this. It's important that a child understands that if they lose a game, an activity, and another person wins, that we learn to celebrate that other person and that we can keep working towards what we want to get. In society, there is going to be a winner and there is going to be a loser. I feel like I don't need to go really in depth with this. This is something that is part of life. Just making sure that your child understands that in games and activities and things that happen, they may lose or they might not get what they want. And that's something I always instill in my children, and we learn to celebrate other successes because that is important in life, and that's something that they can take away as they grow older and when they become an adult. And some adults need to learn that skill too. Tip number 5 is going to be talking about my favorite place, the bathroom. The bathroom is a big conversation because your child is coming to a school. And most of the time in kindergarten classrooms, there are bathrooms inside the classroom. Now, throughout the other grade levels, they're usually in the hallway, but let's break down the bathroom. As a parent, your child needs to be potty trained coming into school. I would say even as a pre-K student, they should know how to wipe, how to unbutton, how to sit down, how to flush, and how to properly use the restroom. Out of all those things I just listed, the most important thing about using the bathroom is knowing when they need to go. Can your child feel and say and speak up to an adult, I need to use the restroom, without holding it in and then having an accident? This is very, 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 very important that your child understands this. Will they have an accident? Yes, they occur in kindergarten, but let's talk about some things we can work on. First of all, they need to be potty trained, plain and simple. Second of all, you need to have a talk with your child about the bathrooms at school. Typically, the restrooms are a little louder when you flush the toilet. So reminding your child that the bathroom can be a little loud when you go inside, just having that conversation before will prepare them in advance. Another topic of conversation is personal hygiene. Making sure that your child can wipe correctly, flush the toilet, use a certain amount of toilet paper without being silly in the bathroom, cleaning up after themselves, and properly washing their hands with soap and water. If your child does have an accident, it's important that they understand how to change their clothes, because oftentimes I do have students that need help with that. So making sure that your child knows how to get dressed and undressed, button, zip. These are all really small things, but they matter so much. So please make sure your child's prepared to use the restroom at school and speak up about it. Tip number 6 is going to be working on your child's motor skills. So we have fine motor skills and gross motor skills. An example of working with your child on their fine motor skills is holding a pencil correctly. That grip is really important in elementary school and when your child enters kindergarten. Your child should be able to hold a pencil, at least write their name, because what they'll be doing is starting the alphabet and learning letter names and sounds, and it moves a lot quicker than when I was in school. So your child really needs to have that grip and those muscles built in their hands to be able to write, cut, glue, pick things up, and manipulate objects. With your child's gross motor skills, let's talk about the midline. So making sure that your child understands the midline of their body. Can they cross across the opposite hand to the opposite side of their body like this. You can do like a windmill to practice. Understanding that midline is really important and making sure that your child is able to walk, skip, run, and jump. Getting them outside is a great way to expose them and work on their motor skills. Your child will have recess every day. They'll have physical education, which we call PE. So they'll have the opportunity to really work on these skills, but making sure they're built early on and they're active will really help them. If your child is struggling with at least their fine motor skills, something to work on at home is building that grip in those muscles in their hands. You can start with the thicker pencils if you want them to write. You can have them have pennies all over the table and have them try to pick and flip the pennies. That really builds their skills. You can use something like clothespins to practice snapping. Cutting Play-Doh is something that's really good too. So making sure that those skills are worked on prior to entering kindergarten. Tip number 7 is something more academic, and this is something if your child's been in preschool, they've probably started to work on, and that's something called phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is the ability to manipulate sounds. So in preschool, your child's probably worked on singing nursery rhymes, practice rhyming words, maybe clapping syllables. This is all a really great start to your child's foundation in phonemic awareness. We will start with rhyme, syllables, identifying the first sound in a word, and eventually moving on to more advanced skills. Syllables are something you can work on at home. If you're in the car or your child's just brushing their teeth, anything where you have time, you can practice clapping syllables. So like the word alligator, alligator, that has 4 syllables. So being able to identify the syllables and clap them out, it's anywhere there's a vowel sound. You can work on rhyme. Start with their name. If your child's name is Jane, Jane rhymes with Maine. You can do simple words like dog and fog. Rhyming is a good skill to start working on because your child needs to be able to produce a rhyming word. So if you say dog, they need to say a word that rhymes with it. And then we'll move on to more advanced skills. First letter sound identification, like if I said the word dark, the first sound I hear is D. Then on, we'll move into more skills in kindergarten. This is a great start for you to start doing at home. Tip number 8 is something that I'm seeing a lot of now, and you probably see a lot of if you go on an airplane, if you walk into a restaurant, if you go through the grocery store, and that is limiting screen time. As adults, we are our child's role model. Always remember that. The iPad, the tablet, that's not always the solution. Now, I understand we live in a world today where technology is very, very important. However, it's okay for your child to do things that you did as a child. In the classroom, I limit screen time. My students are not on the iPads that we use in the classroom for more than 15 minutes per day. Sometimes they never get on the iPads. That's just my personal belief as a teacher. I understand in different grade levels it is different, but please do not expose your child too much to the screen time because this is super important. They need paper, they need pencil. Let's bring those old things back because these really matter inside the classroom. And when your child enters kindergarten, they will be cutting, they will be gluing, and they will be writing. And you don't want your child to be the one that can't do those things. Tip number 9 is going to be social interaction. Has your child been able to interact with peers? Have you exposed your child to friends or play dates? Are they in a school setting already? This is super important. When your child comes into kindergarten, they are going to meet so many different students from so many different backgrounds. They'll meet many different adults and they'll learn to work with other children. Having exposure to being social beforehand is very important so your child knows those basic skills that I've talked about before, like problem solving, working with others, expressing feelings. These all happen with occurrences with other children. So coming to kindergarten is a great way for your child to work with other students, learn to be social, and really work on those skills. This also helps them with their vocabulary skills, learning to problem solve and express their feelings, those things I talked about earlier. Making sure that your child has a great social setting when they come to school is very important. And as a parent, you can always ask them about their day or ask them to talk about something that they did. And tip number 10 is going to be my final one. It is the most important one in this video, so I hope you stayed to watch it. And that is parental support. You are your child's first teacher. You are your child's role model. You are the one who inspires your child. Your part in your child's education matters the most. You are your child's motivator. You are the one who's going to get them excited about coming to school. Along with me, me or whoever teacher they may have. We are a team in your child's education. You as a parent matter the most to making sure that your child's year and years ahead are amazing and you are that role model for them. You have to be the one to get them excited to come to school each day, talk to them, let them share. Understand that this year is going to be transformational for your child. I love what I do at the end of the day. I can't wait to get my new kindergartners. It is such a beautiful grade and I love seeing the growth of my students, but that's all because of you. I really hope these tips helped you prepare your child for kindergarten, and it's something that you can look forward to doing over the summer. If there's a part 2 you want to see of anything I didn't discuss, or you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. I would love to chat and see what are some things that you have questions about before your child goes to kindergarten. Thank you so much for watching. I hope your little one has a fantastic year in kindergarten. They are going to do amazing things and you are going to see so much growth. It goes by so fast, so please enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see everyone in the next video.